Hey all, good morning. Today is Monday. My name is Amber, and today I'm going to be starting a reading vlog. We're going to see if this works. If you're seeing this, that means I was able to get my clips together and actually do this. But yeah, I just thought I would try doing this again. I've been missing doing like reading vlog type things. If you hear noise, that's my dog chomping away at her breakfast. But yeah, I thought I would just share with you what my week has already looked like reading wise and what I plan to start next, and a bit of my TBR type thing for this week. So I've already DNF'd one book, The Palace of Illusions. I'm going to talk more about this possibly in my wrap up, but all I'll say right now is that it was just a bit boring. Yeah, I have 75 pages into that. I tried really hard to not DNF it, but it just wasn't for me. The next one that I'm going to be starting today is If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. This is about 4 women who live in Seoul, Korea. They live in the same apartment building. 2 of them are roommates. One lives just down the hall from the 2 roommates, and then another lives just a floor beneath them. And we're seeing each of their personal lives and experiences happening while they're also getting to know and become friends with one another. Very much looking forward to starting this. I think I could get this out in one day. It's quite short. It's only like 240 pages, I think. No, 260 pages. And I've done that before. So I'm kind of determined because of the next book that I want to get going this week, which is almost 700 pages. So this is We the Drowned by Kirsten, Jensen, and this is like a generational like story that sees each generation that lives in this that lived in this small town of Marston. That like Marstal, sorry, Marstal. It's a port town. So we're seeing like the inhabitants of this port town through the generations. So it spans over 100 years, from the mid 19th century onwards to like the end of Second World War II and such, and so on and so forth, I guess. So yeah, that's probably why it's such a massive book. Needs that space in order to get that done. But sometimes I think that generational type stories can be a miss, just because you're trying to like have us be connected to characters that you may not be spending enough time with in order for us to do. I'm hoping because of how long it is, that's actually not going to be true. But either way, we will find out as this week comes on. That is a book I've been wanting to read for quite some time, for years actually. I just have never actually picked it up. So I feel like this is the time for that. But anyways, those are like the 2 main books that I will be reading this week. I don't see myself reading any more because of this one. So yeah, I will check in with you when I've read a bit of this. So back for an update. I have to go in a few minutes, but I wanted to talk about what I'm thinking about this book so far. I'm 73 pages in. I thought I would be 100 pages in at this point, but it's a little harder for me to read. Not like I'm not enjoying it or anything. It's just, yeah, these girls. Now I understand the title of this book a lot more. Yeah. There's a talk about, I don't know if I should say anything because it's a bit of a, I mean, it's like a central part of the plot. Actually, yes, because this is going to be a spoiler vlog. So 3 of the girls, no, 2 of these girls are, one is a room salon girl, so you can imagine that entails. But like she had all this plastic surgery to make her look like the ideal girl or whatever for these guys, and it just cringes makes me cringe. And like she is talking to what's her name? Aura's roommate and best friend. Uh, I really don't know how to pronounce their names. Sujin. Oh, there we go. And Sujin wants to, like, she had plastic surgery before, and it was messed up, and then now she wants it done again, which she has already, and it's like, it's just so painful to like see her so excited to have this, to have all this done to her. And it's like, I get that this is part of like them trying to survive in this world, um but it's just like heartbreaking in a way, because it's just like, you are beautiful the way you are. Like, I don't really, it's just frustrating to see. So it's just a little heartbreaking to see. And then like we have Miho, who grew up in an orphanage. I think like her story is like the least traumatic in a way, because like it's just, I mean, yes, she grew up in an orphanage, but like so far I haven't seen anything like super like horrible about her experience there. Um yeah, and then, oh, like, it's just a little bit hard to read a little bit, because I'm just like, I'm not really, do what you want that makes you personally happy, but I've never been someone who would support plastic surgery. It's just something that makes me like I try not to judge, like, but for this situation it's just like they're having plastic surgery because they feel like that's the only way that they can like survive, actually like make a living in any shape or form. Like they talk about how like they get these plastic surgeries so that they can get jobs, not just like the room salon job, but like, it's just, yeah. So anyways, this is my thoughts so far. Kind of gives me a little bit of a sick feeling knowing that that's how they feel and have to like combat with. But yeah, I am like liking the process of reading this. Like, it's just kind of, like I said, heartbreaking. I'm rambling and repeating myself, so I'm gonna go because I need to get ready to go. But yeah, 73 pages in. Like, okay, I'm gonna say something else. I really thought that I would be at 100 pages, like, even with the topic matter and like all that. Like, I don't know what's making me read so slowly. Like, I've read for like almost 2 hours. Actually, not really. I needed, if I read 20 more minutes, I would probably have gone to 100 pages. Okay, I don't know where I got that idea, but anyways, I'll update you when I actually finish this, because I know I'm gonna finish this today. So I did it. I finished If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha in one day. I really don't know what to think about this. It just didn't feel like it had much of a resolution to the story. Like, it does leave off on a hopeful note, but there were just like some lack of answer, which it could have been very purposeful when it comes to the author, because it did feel like there was an ending to the book and the story, but it just didn't feel like there was a resolution, which I guess that's kind of like the point. There's no sense of like, there's no full resolution to life and all that bullshit, but it's just frustrating. I don't know. Someone smarter may get a lot more out of this than me. I feel kind of dumb in a way, but either way, I just really, like, I was fascinated, I was intrigued, I was hooked, and I felt like I knew these characters. They felt very real to me, and I just cared so much, which is, I think, is kind of like frustrating to me as to like how this book ends, is that I just want to know that they're going to be okay, and I wanted to know some answers that we didn't really get. Also, the thing that I do find frustrating when it comes to like stories that feature multiple characters, and their stories aren't like they're not like, they don't know each other fully or whatever, and then they're supposed to like come together, is how there's always seems to be at least one person that gets left behind. So, and here's the thing: three of these characters, main characters here, know each other. They live on the same floor. They hang out with each other. All of that. They depend on each other in a lot of ways. They're friends. But the one other person that we meet, Wona, uh, we really don't get to know her. I mean, we do know her. Okay, that's wrong. We know her, but they don't get to know her, I should say. Um, it's like they don't even really fully meet her until the very end of the book. So this is like frustrating because even though we, the reader, got to know her when we got her sporadic chapters, um, and all that, it just didn't feel like there was a purpose for her being there. Like everyone else had a purpose in like how they knew each other, and sometimes leads you to believe that this is about them all like getting to know each other. Which I'm just like, this story didn't really feel like it was about their friendship fully. It was really about each of their struggles that they were going through in their personal lives, and just seeing how they kind of like intersected with one another in that way. But one had never really intersected with them other than like a ghost, like they saw in passing as they went up the stairs, kind of a thing. And they don't even, like I said, meet until the very end. So I'm just like really struggling with why this author felt the need to put her in there when it didn't really feel like there was a purpose for her in this book overall. When so it's just one of those things. But I don't know how to feel about this. I'm giving it 3 stars because I think there is a lot of good in this book, but maybe I'm just not smart enough to see the intent behind the words, if that makes sense. The themes and all that. I would love to hear people talk about this more, who actually read it, and hear more of their thoughts. So maybe I'll look up some reviews on YouTube and see if anybody's actually talked about this book, because I'm just very confused about like what was the purpose behind this book in a lot of ways, and what was she trying to discuss. Like I can see like the obvious things that are being discussed, but I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed it overall. I think it's a really good story, but yeah. Tomorrow I will talk more about what I'm going to be starting. I expect that I will be reading that one for the rest of the week. So yeah. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, and yesterday I was supposed to have started We the Dreamed, or We the Drowned. But here's the thing. Monday, after I did that clip about if I had your face, we had like super strong winds. It was pretty scary, and my dog was super anxious about it. More anxious than I thought she would be. Like, she was just very antsy throughout the day. But because of that, we had like a door situation where our door jammed because when someone opened the back door, our front door must not have been fully closed, and so it opened and then slammed pretty hard. It was just the wind, but we've had a problem before where this happened, where we had to like literally take the door handle off to like, and we found out that there was like a problem with the jam, whatever. So we thought, well, someone in the household thought that that maybe it was the same thing that wasn't properly fixed or something. I knew it was. It was just the wind. And I don't really want to deal with people if we don't obviously have to. Like, I'm tired of feeling like I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to protect my family and make sure that others are doing the same. And it's just frustrating because I shouldn't have to feel like I'm the bad guy in the situation. They're the bad guys for not wearing their fucking mask. It should just be common sense to wear your mask at this point. We know that masks will work. It's just people with their conspiracy bullshit believing. They just rather believe, or just they don't care, whatever. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's annoying, and I'm fucking tired of it. So, it was just really exhausting because I was so stressed that whole morning because I was just like, I didn't really trust the person who was coming. I had my doubts if they would even abide by our wishes, but thankfully they did. And I was right, there's nothing wrong with the door. So we just wasted all that energy. I wasted all that energy for nothing. But either way, and then with this book particularly, I just couldn't get myself to even pick it up. Not even after, when I was calmed down and I was like, okay, I could actually read if I wanted to. This book just doesn't, I'm not interested anymore. The more I thought about it, the more I just lost my interest in it. And this is a generational story, which is something that I'm not particularly a huge fan of. Like, I don't mind multiple perspective stories where it's centered on one type of plot, but generational stories can sometimes be a miss. And there's only one book that I've actually read where it actually worked for me, and that was Home by Yasi. I'm sorry if I butchered their name, but I really loved that book. But even then, like I could see like some where some people's criticisms hit the mark on it. But like I absolutely loved it. Whereas I'm not sure about this, and the story doesn't interest me as much as I thought it did, or it once did. Because like I think I said this in an earlier clip where this was a book that I had wanted to read for like years, but now that interest isn't there as much. So I'm gonna keep it on my in the air TBR, and if that interest hits again, I will pick it back up and actually try to read it. But for now, like I read like a page or two, and I was just like, and I'm not even sure if that was enough. But so yeah, I'm not gonna read it because I really don't want to get into reading some, but I feel if I try to like force myself to read it, I will go into reading some. And I am 2 books away from hitting my reading goal. I had like not read for like almost 5 months this year, and so I am like quite surprised and like pleasantly so, and just super happy that I'm like 2 books away. And I just feel like it's because I'm not forcing myself to read when I don't want to read, and I'm not forcing myself to read books that I'm not interested in. I just felt like I needed to mention that because I did talk about it here as I was gonna read it. But we're gonna move on to this, The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bully. I don't know why, but I felt like this was fantasy. Maybe the cover kind of tricked me a little bit, but either way, it does sound very interesting. So this is about Donna Fontaine, who doesn't feel like she belongs in her hometown or on her on the nearby Ojibwe reservation. So it's just like, so she's just like ready to start college. She just wants to leave and not have to like maybe hope in the hopes that she'll find some kind of sense of belonging somewhere else, where she's not like feeling like she's tied to one place or other in that way. But then tragedy hits and she ends up staying to look after her mom. There she meets Jamie, who is a new recruit on her brother Levi's hockey team. But she senses there's something that he's hiding, and then the FBI, then she sees a murder, which thrusts her into the FBI investigation. They want her to go undercover because they believe that her death was part of a drug thing, and so she draws on her knowledge of chemistry and Ojibwe traditional medicine to track down the source of this. Oh, yeah, because they're investigating this new drug, and she thinks that she was killed because of it, or something along that, or that the person whose murder was involved in, or had that drug in her system, or something like that. So, it's really hard because it brings up old scars and such, but also she's starting to worry that the police are more focused on punishing the criminal than protecting the victims. So she's kind of dealing with a lot of, social justice, racial situations here. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. I kind of have to like remember this isn't meant to be fantasy. I don't know why I thought that, but anyways, yeah, she's really gonna have. It says here that now as the deceptions and deaths keep growing, Donnas must learn what it means to be a strong Anishinaabe Kwe. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Or Ojibwe woman, and how far she'll go for her community, even if it tears apart the only world she's ever known. So again, I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm just gonna try to read 200 pages today, and I will talk more about my thoughts when I finish that.